Hello, everybody. Good morning. I thought I heard someone in here. Hello? Because it most, like 99% positive my brother's not here. Nope. Oh, I'm good. Must be in my imagination. Today we're going to read Numbers um, 21 through 28. Yeah, I got up late. I'm sorry. I'm just, I was so comfortable. It's okay if I get up late sometimes. Because the reason why I changed it back to 7 or 7:30 is because devotions was getting so close to my regular life because Jen was doing devotions at 9, sometimes later, and it was on, but sometimes I will be live and listening to it. So obviously people thought that was kind of rude, but I'm like, would you not like to see me live and be late? And then you'll say, well, Michelle, you're late. You know, you gotta stay on top of things. Because if I never said anything, nobody would know. Let's get started. Our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive them that trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever and ever. Amen. Thank you, Jehovah, for another day on your beautiful earth, and thank you for allowing us to wake up today. I appreciate everything you have done for us in the past, present, and what you will do for us in the future. My friends who has cancer and Tate who has a heart condition as well as cancer are Tate, Cindy Lee, Lisa, Shannon Doherty, King Charles, Princess Kate, Jen's friend Shannon, and Isabella Strahan. Please give them physical and mental strength to fight off their diseases and stay and to help Tate stay heart stay strong and help Celine Dion cope with her stiff person syndrome. Give her mental physical strength to fight it and and give her strength also when she goes back to singing. And Tiffany's son, oh, I forgot his name. He's really having it trouble mentally and physically. Um, Good news that he is on disability, but he has a lot of mental issues going on. And that's her oldest son, and her youngest son is showing traits of it, but not her daughter. As what I see, is what I heard. Not a daughter, just her two boys. And to help her oldest son mental and physically get through his tough times. Just hang in there until he gets his disability, and then he has to borrow money to stay in the hotel. So please, Jehovah, put him in your arms and just give him a hug, and just let him know things are gonna be all right. Everything will fall into place, and then he'll say, "Ah, thank you, Jehovah." You'll see. And continue to help Jenny, Christina, Tiffany, Robin Taylor, Miss Diane, and her daughters in the mental and physical needs that they need help in. Arnie, Vicky, Faley, Carol, and her mom. She's helped them in everything they need. Help Carol with her tummy. Please help her mother realize that her daughter needs, leisure time. Now, who cares if she's on the phone a lot on YouTube? As long as she's not on the streets. But please help them in Jesus' name, amen. My Timio, why I had the alarm on at 8? Because if I, shut it off and I forget to go back to it, I'm late. By 9 o'clock, it's too late to do anything. Okay, it's been. Because it already went off. So. It went off, so I'm gonna have to do it. 21. You gotta have to do volume.
Chapter 21. When the Canaanite king of Arad, who dwelled in the Negeb, heard that Israel had come by the way of Atharim, he attacked Israel and carried away some of them as captives. So Israel made this vow to Jehovah:
"If you give this people into my hand, I will without fail devote their cities to destruction."
So Jehovah listened to Israel's voice and gave the Canaanites over to them, and they devoted them and their cities to destruction. Therefore, they named the place Hormah. As they continued their journey from Mount Hor by the way of the Red Sea, in order to go around the land of Edom, the people became weary of the journey. And the people kept speaking against God and Moses, saying,
"Why have you brought us up out of Egypt to die in the wilderness? There is no food and no water, and we have come to hate this contemptible bread."
So Jehovah sent poisonous serpents among the people, and they kept biting the people, so that many Israelites died. So the people came to Moses and said,
"We have sinned by speaking against Jehovah and against you. Intercede with Jehovah so that he may remove the serpents from us."
And Moses interceded on behalf of the people. Then Jehovah said to Moses, "Make a replica of a poisonous snake and put it on a pole. Then when anyone has been bitten, he will have to look at it in order to keep alive." Moses at once made a serpent of copper and put it on the pole. And whenever a serpent had bitten and looked at the copper serpent, he survived. The Israelites departed and camped in Oboth. Then they departed from Oboth and camped in Abarim, in the wilderness that faces Moab, toward the east. From there they departed and camped by the valley of Zered. From there they departed and camped in the region of the Arnon, which is a wilderness that extends from the border of the Amorites. For the Arnon is the boundary of Moab, between Moab and the Amorites. That is why the book of the Wars of Jehovah speaks of Vaheb in Suphah, and the valleys of Arnon, and the descent of the valleys, which extends toward the settlement of Ar, and adjoins the border of Moab. Next they went on to Beer. This is the well about which Jehovah said to Moses, "Gather the people, and let me give them water." At that time, Israel sang this song.
Spring up, O well, respond to it, the well that princes dug, that nobles of the people excavated, with a commander's staff, and with their own staffs.
Then they went from the wilderness onto Mattanah, from Mattanah onto Nahaliel, and from Nahaliel onto Bamoth. They went from Bamoth onto the valley that is in the territory of Moab, on top of Pisgah, which overlooks Jeshimon. Israel now sent messengers to Sihon, the king of the Amorites, saying,
Let us pass through your land. We will not turn aside into a field or a vineyard. We will not drink water from any well. We will march on the king's road until we pass through your territory.
But Sihon did not allow Israel to pass through his territory. Instead, Sihon gathered all his people and went out against Israel in the wilderness, and came to Jahaz, and began fighting with Israel. But Israel defeated him with the sword, and took possession of his land, from the Arnon to the Jabbok, near the Ammonites, because Jazer borders the territory of the Ammonites. So Israel took all these cities, and they began dwelling in all the cities of the Amorites, in Heshbon and all its dependent towns. For Heshbon was the city of Sihon, the king of the Amorites, who had fought with the king of Moab, and taken all his land from him as far as the Arnon. That is what gave rise to the taunting proverbial saying, "Come to Heshbon, let the city of Sihon be built and firmly established." For a fire came out of Heshbon, a flame from the town of Sihon. It has consumed Ar of Moab, the lord of the high places of the Arnon. Woe to you, Moab! You will be destroyed, O people of Chemosh. He makes his sons fugitives, and his daughters captives of Sihon, the king of the Amorites. Let us shoot at them. Heshbon will be destroyed as far as Dibon. Let us desolate it as far as Nophah. Fire will spread as far as Medeba. So Israel began to dwell in the land of the Amorites. Moses then sent some men to spy on Jazer. They captured its dependent towns and drove out the Amorites who were there. After that, they turned and went up by the way of Bashan. And Og, the king of Bashan, came out with all his people to meet them in battle at Edrei. Jehovah said to Moses, "Do not be afraid of him, for I will give him and all his people and his land into your hand, and you will do to him just as you did to Sihon, the king of the Amorites, who lived in Heshbon." So they kept striking him down, along with his sons and all his people, until none of his people survived, and they took possession of his land.
Wow.
Chapter 22. Then the Israelites departed and camped on the desert plains of Moab, across the Jordan from Jericho. Now Balak, the son of Zippor, saw all that Israel had done to the Amorites, and Moab became very frightened of the people, because they were so many. Indeed, Moab felt sick with fear because of the Israelites. So Moab said to those of Midian,
"Now this congregation will devour all our surroundings, just as a bull devours the grass in a field."
Balak, son of Zippor, was king of Moab at that time. He sent messengers to Balaam, the son of Beor, at Pethor, which is by the river in his native land. He summoned him, saying,
"Look, a people has come out of Egypt. Look, they have covered the face of the earth, and they are dwelling right in front of me. Now please, come and curse this people for me, for they are mightier than I am. Perhaps I can defeat them and drive them out of the land, for I well know that the one whom you bless is blessed, and the one whom you curse is cursed."
So the elders of Moab and the elders of Midian traveled with the fee for divination in their hands and went to Balaam and conveyed to him Balak's message. At that he said to them,
"Spend the night here, and I will bring back to you whatever word Jehovah speaks to me."
So the princes of Moab stayed with Balaam. Then God came to Balaam and said, "Who are these men with you?" Balaam said to the true God,
"Balak, the son of Zippor, the king of Moab, has sent me a message, saying, 'Look, the people who are coming out of Egypt are covering the face of the earth. Now come and put a curse on them for me. Perhaps I may be able to fight against them and drive them out.'"
But God said to Balaam, "You must not go with them. You must not curse the people, for they are blessed." Balaam got up in the morning and said to the princes of Balak,
"Go to your land, for Jehovah has refused to let me go with you."
So the princes of Moab departed and returned to Balak and said,
"Balaam has refused to come with us."
However, Balak again sent princes, more numerous and more distinguished than the first group. They came to Balaam and said to him,
"This is what Balak, the son of Zippor, has said. Please do not let anything hinder you from coming to me, for I will honor you greatly, and I will do anything you tell me to do. So come, please, and curse this people for me."
But Balaam answered the servants of Balak,
"If Balak were to give me his own house full of silver and gold, I could not do anything beyond the order of Jehovah my God, whether small or great. But please stay here tonight also, so that I may learn what else Jehovah will tell me."
Then God came to Balaam by night and said to him, "If these men have come to summon you, go along with them. But you may speak only the words that I tell you to say." So Balaam got up in the morning and saddled his donkey and went with the princes of Moab. But God's anger blazed because he was going, and Jehovah's angel stationed himself in the road to resist him. Now Balaam was riding on his donkey, and two of his attendants were with him. And when the donkey saw Jehovah's angel standing in the road with a drawn sword in his hand, it tried to turn off the road into the field. But Balaam began to beat the donkey to make it return to the road. Then Jehovah's angel stood in a narrow path between two vineyards, with stone walls on both sides. When the donkey saw Jehovah's angel, it began to squeeze itself against the wall, and it jammed Balaam's foot against the wall, and Balaam began beating it again. Jehovah's angel now passed by again, and stood in a narrow place where there was no way to turn to the right or to the left. When the donkey saw Jehovah's angel, it lay down under Balaam. So Balaam became furious and kept beating the donkey with his staff. Finally, Jehovah caused the donkey to speak, and it said to Balaam,
"What have I done to you to make you beat me these 3 times?
Balaam replied to the donkey,
"It is because you have made a fool of me. If only I had a sword in my hand, I would kill you."
Then the donkey said to Balaam,
Am I not your donkey that you have ridden on all your life until today? Have I ever treated you this way before?"
He replied,
"No."
Then Jehovah uncovered Balaam's eyes, and he saw Jehovah's angel standing in the road with a drawn sword in his hand. At once he bowed low and prostrated himself on his face. Then Jehovah's angel said to him,
"Why have you beaten your donkey these 3 times? Look, I myself came out to offer resistance, because your way is in defiance of my will. The donkey saw me and tried to turn away from me these 3 times. Supposing it had not turned away from me,
By now I would have killed you and let the donkey live.
Balaam said to Jehovah's angel,
I have sinned because I did not know that it was you standing in the road to meet me. And now, if it is bad in your eyes, I will go back.
But Jehovah's angel said to Balaam,
Go with the men, but you may speak only the words that I tell you.
So Balaam continued going with the princes of Balak. When Balak heard that Balaam had come, he immediately went out to meet him at the city of Moab, which is on the bank of the Arnon, on the border of the territory. Balak said to Balaam,
Did I not send for you? Why did you not come to me? Did you think I am not able to honor you greatly?
Balaam replied to Balak,
Well, I have come to you now, but will I be allowed to say anything? I can only speak words that God puts in my mouth.
So Balaam went with Balak, and they came to Kiriath-Huzoth. Balak sacrificed cattle and sheep, and sent some to Balaam and the princes who were with him. In the morning, Balak took Balaam and brought him up to Bamoth Baal. From there he could see all the people. Chapter 23. Then Balaam said to Balak,
Build on this spot 7 altars, and prepare 7 bulls and 7 rams for me.
Balak immediately did just as Balaam had said. And Balak and Balaam offered up a bull and a ram on each altar. Balaam then said to Balak,
Stay here by your burnt offering, and I will go. Perhaps Jehovah will get in touch with me. Whatever he reveals to me, I will tell you.
So he went to a barren hill. Then God got in touch with Balaam, who said to him,
I set the 7 altars in rows, and I offered up a bull and a ram on each altar.
Jehovah put this word in the mouth of Balaam. Return to Balak, and this is what you are to say. So he returned, and saw that Balak and all the princes of Moab were standing by his burnt offering. Then he spoke this proverbial saying,
Balak, the king of Moab, has brought me from Aram, from the mountains of the east. Do come to curse Jacob for me. Yes, come to denounce Israel. How could I put a curse on those whom God has not cursed? And how could I denounce those whom Jehovah denounced? From the top of the rocks I see them, and from the hills I see them. As a people, they dwell there alone. Do not count themselves among the nations. Who can number the dust particles of Jacob, or count even the 4th part of Israel? Let me die the death of the upright, and let my end be like theirs.
Balak then said to Balaam,
What have you done to me? I brought you to put a curse on my enemies, and here you have done nothing but bless them.
He answered,
Must I not speak whatever Jehovah puts in my mouth?
Balak said to him,
Please, come with me to another place from which you can see them. You will see only a part of them. You will not see them all. Put a curse on them for me from there.
So he took him to the field of Zophim, to the top of Pisgah, and built 7 altars, and offered up a bull and a ram on each altar. So Balaam said to Balak,
Stay here by your burnt offering, while I get them over there.
And Jehovah got in touch with Balaam, and put this word in his mouth. Return to Balak, and this is what you are to say. So he came to him, and saw that he was waiting by his burnt offering, and the princes of Moab were with him. Balak asked him,
What has Jehovah said?
Then he spoke this proverbial saying,
Get up, Balak, and listen. Hear me, O son of Zippor. God is not a mere man who tells lies, nor a son of man who changes his mind. When he says something, will he not do it? When he speaks, will he not carry it out? Look, I have been taken to bless. Now he has blessed, and I cannot reverse it. He does not tolerate any magical power against Jacob, and he does not allow any trouble against Israel. Jehovah his God is with them, and he is loudly hailed as king among them. God is bringing them out of Egypt. He is like the horns of a wild bull for them. For there are no omens of doom against Jacob, nor any divination against Israel. At this time it may be said about Jacob and Israel, look at what God has done. Here is a people who will rise up like a lion, and like the lion, it will raise itself up. It will not lie down until it eats prey and drinks the blood of the slain ones.
Balak then said to Balaam,
If on the one hand you cannot put any curse on him, then on the other hand you should not bless him either.
Balaam answered Balak,
Did I not say to you, I will do all that Jehovah says?
Balak said to Balaam,
Please, come and let me take you to yet another place. Perhaps it will be right in the eyes of the true God for you to put a curse on him for me from there.
So Balak took Balaam to the top of Peor, which looks toward Jeshimon. Then Balaam said to Balak,
Build 7 altars on this spot, and prepare 7 bulls and 7 rams for me.
So Balak did each altar. Chapter 24. When Balaam saw that it pleased Jehovah to bless Israel, he did not go away again to search for omens of doom, but he turned his face to the wilderness. When Balaam raised his eyes and saw Israel encamped by his tribes, then the Spirit of God came upon him. He then spoke this proverbial saying,
The saying of Balaam, the son of Beor, and the saying of a man whose eyes have been opened, the saying of the one hearing the word of God, who saw a vision of the Almighty, who has bowed down with his eyes uncovered. How beautiful are your tents, O Jacob, your tabernacles, O Israel. Like the valleys, they have extended a long way, like gardens by the river, like aloes that Jehovah has planted, like cedars by the waters. Water keeps trickling from his 2 leather buckets, and his seed is sown by many waters. His king also will be greater than Agag, and his kingdom will be exalted. God is bringing him out of Egypt. He is like the horns of a wild bull for them. He will consume the nations, his oppressors, and their bones he will gnaw, and he will shatter them with his arrows. He has crouched down. He has lain down like the lion, and like a lion, who dares rouse him? Those blessing you are blessed, and those cursing you are cursed.
Then Balak became furious with Balaam. Balak scornfully clapped his hands together and said to Balaam,
It was to put a curse on my enemies that I called you, but now you have done nothing but bless them, these 3 times. Now go home immediately. I intended to honor you greatly, but look, Jehovah has deprived you of honor.
Balaam replied to Balak,
Did I not say to the messengers you sent, if Balak were to give me his house full of silver and gold, I could not of my own will do anything beyond the order of Jehovah, whether good or bad. I will only speak what Jehovah will tell me. And now I am going away to my people. Come and let me advise you what this people will do to your people in the future.
So he spoke this proverbial saying,
The saying of Balaam, the son of Beor, and the saying of a man whose eyes have been opened, the saying of the one hearing the word of God, and the one having the knowledge of the Most High, a vision of the Almighty he saw, while bowing down with his eyes uncovered. I will see him, but not now. I will behold him, but not soon. A star will come out of Jacob, and a scepter will rise out of Israel. And he will certainly break apart the forehead of Moab, and the skull of all the sons of tumult. And Edom will become a possession, yes, Seir, the possession of his enemies, while Israel is displaying his courage. And out of Jacob one will be subduing, and he will destroy any survivor from the city.
When he saw Amalek, he continued his proverbial saying,
Amalek was the first of the nations, but in the end he will perish.
When he saw the Kenites, he continued his proverbial saying,
Secure is your dwelling,
Oh, Richie.
and set on the crag is your abode. But someone will burn Cain down. How long before Assyria carries you away captive?
And he continued his proverbial saying,
Woe! Who will survive when God does this? Ships will come from the coast of Kittim, and they will afflict Assyria, and they will afflict Eber. But he too will utterly perish.
Then Balaam got up and went and returned to his place. Balak also went his own way. Chapter 25. When Israel was dwelling in Shittim, the people started to commit sexual immorality with the daughters of Moab. The women invited the people to the sacrifices of their gods, and the people began to eat and to bow down to their gods. So Israel joined in worship of the Baal of Peor, and Jehovah became enraged with Israel. Jehovah said to Moses, Take all the leaders of these people and hang them up before Jehovah in broad daylight, that the burning anger of Jehovah may turn back from Israel. Then Moses said to the judges of Israel, Each one of you should kill his men who joined in worship of the Baal of Peor. But just then there came one of the Israelites, bringing near to his brothers a Midianite woman, before the eyes of Moses and of all the assembly of the Israelites, while they were weeping at the entrance of the tent of meeting. When Phinehas, the son of Eleazar, the son of Aaron the priest, saw it, he immediately rose up from the midst of the assembly and took a spear in his hand. Then he went after the man of Israel into the tent and pierced both of them through, the man of Israel and the woman through her genital parts. At that, the scourge on the Israelites was halted. Those who died from the scourge amounted to 24,000. Then Jehovah said to Moses, Phinehas, the son of Eleazar, the son of Aaron the priest, has turned my wrath away from the people of Israel, because he tolerated no rivalry at all toward me among them. So I have not exterminated the Israelites in my insistence on exclusive devotion. Therefore, say, I am giving him my covenant of peace, and it will serve as the covenant of a lasting priesthood for him and his offspring after him, because he tolerated no rivalry toward his God, and he made atonement for the people of Israel. Incidentally, the name of the Israelite man who was put to death along with the Midianites was Zimri, the son of Salu, a chieftain of a paternal house of the Simeonites. The name of the Midianite woman who was put to death was Cosbi, the daughter of Zur. He was a leader of the clans of a paternal house in Midian. Jehovah later said to Moses, Harass the Midianites and strike them down, because they have been harassing you with their cunning dealings against you in the affair of Peor, and of Cosbi, the daughter of a chieftain of Midian, their sister, who was put to death in the day of the scourge over the affair of Peor. Chapter 26. After the scourge, Jehovah said to Moses and Eleazar the son of Aaron the priest, Take a census of the whole assembly of the Israelites, from 20 years of age and up, by their paternal houses, counting all those who can serve in the army in Israel. So Moses and Eleazar the priest spoke with them in the desert plains of Moab, by the Jordan at Jericho, saying,
Take a census of them from the age of 20 years and up, just as Jehovah commanded Moses.
Now the sons of Israel who went out of the land of Egypt were Reuben, Israel's firstborn. Reuben's sons were of Hanok, the family of the Hanokites, of Palu, the family of the Paluites, of Hezron, the family of the Hezronites, Of Carmi, the family of the Carmites. These were the families of the Reubenites, and the registered ones amounted to 43,730.
Wow.
The son of Palu was Eliab, and the sons of Eliab were Nemuel, Dathan, and Abiram. This Dathan and Abiram were chosen ones of the assembly, who along with Korah's group when they fought against Job. Then the earth opened and swallowed them up. As for Korah, he died with his supporters when the fire consumed 250 men, and they became a warning example. However, the sons of Korah did not die. The sons of Simeon by their families were of Nemuel, the family of the Nemuelites, of Jamin, the family of the Jaminites, of Jachin, the family of the Jachinites, of Zerah, the family of the Zerahites, of Shael, the family of the Shaeulites. These were the families of the Simeonites, 22,200. The sons of Gad by their families were of Zephon, the family of the Zephonites, of Haggai, the family of the Haggites, of Shunai, the family of the Shunites, of Ozni, the family of the Oznites, of Eri, the family of the Erites, of Arod, the family of the Arodites, of Areli, the family of the Arelites. These were the families of the sons of Gad, and the registered ones were 40,500. The sons of Judah were and Onan. However, and Onan died in the land of Canaan. And the sons of Judah by their families were of Shelah, the family of the Shilanites, of Perez, the family of the Perizzites, of Zerah, the family of the Zerahites. And the sons of Perez were of Hezron, the family of the Hezronites, of Hamul, the family of the Hamulites. These were the families of Judah, and the registered ones were 76,500. The sons of Issachar by their families were of Tola, the family of the Tolaites, of Puvah, the family of the Punites, of Jashub, the family of the Jashubites, of Shimron, the family of the Shimronites. These were the families of Issachar, and the registered ones were 64,300. The sons of Zebulun by their families were of Sered, the family of the Seredites, of Elon, the family of the Elonites, of Jaliel, the family of the Jalielites. These were the families of the Zebulunites, and the registered ones were 60,500. The sons of Joseph by their families were Manasseh and Ephraim. The sons of Manasseh were of Machir, the family of the Machirites, and Machir became father to Gilead. Of Gilead, the family of the Gileadites. These were the sons of Gilead. Of Iezer, the family of the Iezerites. Of Helek, the family of the Helekites. Of Azriel, the family of the Azrielites. Of Shechem, the family of the Shechemites. Of Shemida, the family of the Shemidaites. Of Hepher, the family of the Hepherites. Now Zelophehad, the son of Hepher, had no sons, only daughters. And the names of the daughters of Zelophehad were Mahlah, Noah, Hoglah, Milcah, and Tirzah. These were the families of Manasseh, and the registered ones were 52,700. These were the sons of Ephraim by their families. Of Shuthelah, the family of the Shuthelahites. Of Becher, the family of the Becherites. Of Tahan, the family of the Tahanites. And these were the sons of Shuthelah. Of Eran, the family of the Eranites. These were the families of the sons of Ephraim, and the registered ones were 32,500. These were the sons of Joseph by their families. The sons of Benjamin by their families were of Bela, the family of the Belaites, Of Ashbel, the family of the Ashbelites. Of Ahiram, the family of the Ahiramites. Of Shephupham, the family of the Shuphamites. Of Hupham, the family of the Huphamites. The sons of Bela were Ard and Naaman. Of Ard, the family of the Ardites. Of Naaman, the family of the Naamites. These were the sons of Benjamin by their families, and the registered ones were 45,600. These were the sons of Dan by their families. Of Shuham, the family of the Shuhamites. These were the families of Dan by their families. All the families of the Shuhamites, of their registered ones, were 64,400. The sons of Asher by their families were of Imnah, the family of the Imnites. Of Ishvi, the family of the Ishvites. Of Beriah, the family of the Beriites. Of the sons of Beriah, of Heber, the family of the Heberites. Of Malchiel, the family of the Malchielites. The name of Asher's daughter was Serah. These were the families of the sons of Asher, and the registered ones were 53,400. The sons of Naphtali by their families were of Jaziel, the family of the Jazielites. Of Gunai, the family of the Gunites. Of Jezer, the family of the Jezerites. Of Shillem, the family of the Shillemites. These were the families of Naphtali by their families, and their registered ones were 45,400. This is the total of those registered of the Israelites, 601,730. After that, Jehovah said to Moses, "Among these the land should be divided as an inheritance, according to the list of the names. For the larger groups, you should increase the inheritance, and for the smaller groups, you should reduce the inheritance. Each group's inheritance should be given in proportion to the number of those registered. However, the land should be apportioned by lot. They should receive their inheritance according to the names of the tribes of their fathers. Each inheritance will be determined by lot and apportioned among the larger and smaller groups." Now these were the registered ones of the Levites by their families. Of Gershon, the family of the Gershonites. Of Kohath, the family of the Kohathites. Of Merari, Merarites. These were the families of the Levites. The family of the Libnites, the family of the Hebronites, the family of the Mahlites, the family of the Mushites, the family of the Korahites. Kohath became father to Amram, and the name of Amram's wife was Jochebed, Levi's daughter, whom his wife bore to Levi in Egypt. And to Amram she bore Aaron and Moses and their sister Miriam. Then to Aaron there were born Nadab, Abihu, Eleazar, and Ithamar. But Nadab and Abihu died for presenting unauthorized fire before Jehovah. The total of those registered was 23,000, all males from a month old and up. For they were not registered among the Israelites, because no inheritance was to be given to them among the Israelites. These were the ones registered by Moses and Eleazar the priest when they registered the Israelites of Moab by the Jordan at Jericho. But among them there was no one who had been registered by Moses and Aaron the priest in the census of the Israelites taken in the wilderness of Sinai. For Jehovah had said concerning them, "They will die without fail in the wilderness." So there was not a man left of them except Jephunneh and Joshua the son of Nun. Chapter 27. Then the daughters of Zelophehad, the son of Hepher, the son of Gilead, the son of Machir, the son of Manasseh, of the families of Manasseh the son of Joseph, approached. The names of his daughters were Mahlah, Noah, Hoglah, Milcah, and Tirzah. They stood before Moses Eleazar the priest, the chieftains, and all the assembly at the entrance of the tent of meeting, and said,
Our father died in the wilderness, but he was not among the group who banded together against Jehovah, the supporters of Korah. But he died for his own sin, and he did not have any sons.
Why should the name of our father be lost from his family because he had no son? Give us a possession among our father's brothers.
So Moses presented their case before Jehovah. Jehovah then said this to Moses, The daughters of Zelophehad are correct. You should by all means give them the possession as an inheritance among their father's brothers, and transfer their father's inheritance to them. And tell the Israelites, if a man dies without having a son, you must then cause his inheritance to pass to his daughter. And if he has no daughter, you will give his inheritance.
Let me fix something for you guys.
And if he has no brothers, you will give his inheritance to his father's brothers. And if his father has no brothers, you will give his inheritance to the closest blood relative in his family, and he will take possession of it. This will serve as a statute by judicial decision for the Israelites, just as Jehovah has commanded Moses. Then Jehovah said to Moses, Go up into this mountain of Abarim, and view the land that I will give the Israelites. When you have seen it, you will also be gathered to your people, just as Aaron your brother was. Because when the assembly was quarreling with me in the wilderness of Zin, you rebelled against my order to sanctify me before them by means of the waters. These are the waters of Meribah at Kadesh in the wilderness of Zin. Then Moses said to Jehovah, Let Jehovah, the God of the spirit of all people, appoint over the assembly a man who will go out and come in before them, and who will lead them out and bring them in, so that Jehovah's assembly may not become like sheep that have no shepherd. So Jehovah said to Moses, Take Joshua, the son of Nun, a man in whom there is spirit, and lay your hand on him. Then stand him before Eleazar the priest and before all the assembly, and you must commission him before their eyes. You are to confer some of your authority on him, so that all the assembly of the Israelites may listen to him. He will stand before Eleazar the priest, who will inquire in his behalf by the judgment of the Urim before Jehovah. At his order they will go out, and at his order they will come in, he and all the Israelites with him, and all the assembly. So Moses did just as Jehovah had commanded him. He took Joshua and stood him before Eleazar the priest and before all the assembly, and he laid his hands on him and commissioned him, just as Jehovah had spoken through Moses.
Last but certainly not
Chapter
least.
28. Jehovah next said to Moses, Command the Israelites and tell them, You should take care that you present to me my offering, my bread. My offerings by fire as a pleasing aroma to me must be made at their appointed times. And say to them, This is the offering made by fire that you will present to Jehovah. 2 sound-year-old male lambs a day as a burnt offering regularly. The one male lamb you will offer in the morning, and the other male lamb you will offer at twilight, together with 1/10 of an ephah of fine flour mixed with 1/4 of a hin of beaten oil as a grain offering. It is a regular burnt offering, which was established at Mount Sinai as a pleasing aroma, an offering made by fire to Jehovah, along with its drink offering, 1/4 of a hin for each male lamb. Pour out the alcoholic drink in the holy place as a drink offering to Jehovah. And you will offer the other male lamb at twilight, with the same grain offering as that made in the morning, and with its same drink offering. You will present it as an offering made by fire, as a pleasing aroma to Jehovah. However, on the Sabbath day, The offering should be 2 sound-year-old male lambs and 2/10 of an ephah measure of fine flour mixed with oil as a grain offering, together with its drink offering. This is the burnt offering for the Sabbath, along with the regular burnt offering and its drink offering. At the start of each month, you will present as a burnt offering to Jehovah 2 young bulls, 1 ram, and 7 sound male lambs, each a year old, and 3/10 measures of fine flour mixed with oil as a grain offering for each bull, and 2/10 measures of fine flour mixed with oil as a grain offering for the 1 ram, and 1/10 measure of fine flour mixed with oil as a grain offering for each male lamb, as a burnt offering, a pleasing aroma, an offering made by fire to Jehovah. And their drink offerings should be 1/2 a hin of wine for a bull, and 1/3 of a hin for the ram, and 1/4 of a hin for a male lamb. This is the monthly burnt offering each month throughout the year. Also, 1 young goat should be offered as a sin offering to Jehovah, in addition to the regular burnt offering, together with its drink offering. In the first month, on the 14th day of the month, will be Jehovah's Passover. And on the 15th day of this month, there will be a festival. Unleavened bread will be eaten for 7 days. On the first day, there will be a holy convention. You must not do any hard work. And you will present as a burnt offering made by fire to Jehovah 2 young bulls, 1 ram, and 7 male lambs, each a year old. You should offer sound animals. You should offer them with their grain offerings of fine flour mixed with oil, 3/10 measures for a bull, and 2/10 measures for the ram. You will offer 1/10 measure respectively for each male lamb of the 7 male lambs, as well as 1 goat as a sin offering, to make atonement for you. Aside from the morning burnt offering, which is for the regular burnt offering, you will offer these. You will offer these in the same manner each day for 7 days as food, an offering made by fire, as a pleasing aroma to Jehovah. It should be offered along with the regular burnt offering and its drink offering. On the 7th day, you should hold a holy convention. You must not do any hard work. On the day of the first ripe fruits, when you present a new grain offering to Jehovah, you should hold a holy convention in your Feast of Weeks. You must not do any hard work. You will present as a burnt offering for a pleasing aroma to Jehovah 2 young bulls, 1 ram, and 7 male lambs, each a year old. And as their grain offering of fine flour mixed with oil, 3/10 measures for each bull, 2/10 measures for the 1 ram, 1/10 measure respectively for each male lamb of the 7 male lambs, as well as 1 young goat to make atonement for you. You will offer them in addition to the regular burnt offering and its grain offering. They should be sound animals, along with their drink offerings.
Okay. That is it for our reading. Now we'll go to Hebrews. Is it down here? Yes, it is though. Hebrews chapter 13, verse 20. Now may the God of peace, who brought up from the dead the great shepherd of the sheep, our Lord Jesus, with the blood of an everlasting covenant. Yes. And the Oh. Hold on, let me check something. I wanted to say a verse, but I have to see how it starts. Oh, let me think. Um. I got it. For the word of For the word of God is alive and powerful. It is sharper than a sharpest two-edged sword, cutting between soul and spirit, between joint and marrow. It exposes our innermost thoughts and desires. Can I do that right? That was for Danielio. So, I am going to go now. I'm going to get some protein in me. Leftover burger from last night. Can't go wrong. It's protein. Now on Friday, I will be doing devotions, yes, but I'm going over Sela's house. She wants me to meet her mom. She says I love her, and she'll probably love me too. I can always use a mother figure in my life. So that'll be it. Thank you, Carol, for your passage. You did very good. You did very, very good today. So proud of you. So I will see you. Yes, you did very good, Carol. Very good. I'm so proud of you. So I will see you guys later on. Most likely at 10 o'clock. It's just about 9 now. I need to eat. So it might be 10:30, 11. I don't know. So I love you. Love, don't